Rajesh Dogra ji is from Swadeshi Kamdhenu Gaushala, Himachal Pradesh, is doing amazing amount of work for developing and conserving indigenous breed of cattle. He again works on both, which is dairy and non-dairy sustainability models in Himachal Pradesh. So over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you very much, Gauri. And it's lovely audience here, and lovely people. And I heard a lot of good information from the different part of India. So as you have given me a sustainability as a my chapter and how the marketing can be linked to that. So as per my personal knowledge, sustainability development on three factors: economic developments, environment conservation, and social justice. When you cover all these three things, and if you see, go back to our Vedic culture is all based on to these three steps, which we have already forgotten, and majorly few people are working, and even today it was very nice about Aparna. I know because I stayed in Delhi also, because I have my marketing office in Delhi, so I'm working on to the cow-based product also there. So after being, I'm from Himachal Pradesh, and Swadeshi Kamdhenu Gaushala as in a role model we have started, because in Himachal I have personally seen the cow conditions were very poor, and breed of local Himachal is totally vanished. And as per my personal knowledge, I count cow as an engine of our economic system, but people have forgotten about all these things. And Pratik Bhai has wonderfully made many products. I think the integration of all together is actually a sustainable model. So majorly, what I feel is we should target a consumer. And in Delhi, I am doing all that activities with my personal social linking, and many people now attached with me when I started the work of a cow 3 years back. So if I'll personally say, I am an engineer by background, I am an entrepreneur, I am a consultant of a cows based industry, and I'm working onto the cow based product also. So a mixture of all, what I have seen in the from the first speech to the last speech. And personally I say, without a cow, neither a natural farming is possible, neither a natural Ayurveda is possible. So believe me, guys, who all are listening to my voice, without a cow, I don't think our economy is going to be changed. And if you'll go back to our ancient culture, और ऐसे जहाँ पे हमारे देश को सोने की चिड़िया कहा जाता था, तो सोने की चिड़िया हमारे हम जो अन्न उगाते थे उसके बेस पे कहा गया था. जैसे हमारे केरला साइड पे लोग काली मिर्ची को काला गोल्ड कहा गया था, तो वो बाहर अंग्रेजों को काली मिर्च देते थे, उसकी वजह में वो गोल्ड लिया करते थे उनसे. तो कहने का ये भी मतलब है कि आज सस्टेनेबिलिटी पॉसिबल है, बट व्हेन पीपल विल थिंक ओनली अबाउट इन मिल्क, then I think dairy is not going to work. So my dear all friends, India has 50 odd cattle breeds registered in NDRI. If you go and check, you will find a 50 odd breeds. So like our friend Deepak has just shared that he's working on to ghee. But my personal experience, there are 5 kettles, which is a milking kettles, like he rightly said, ghee, Tharparkar, Kankraj, Sahiwal, even Rathi is also a very good breed of a, and Haranvi also, because these breeds has been, mixed by a lower category of a Siemens. And that is the reason, when the breed integration or maybe a mixing is happened, the actual output will never come in front. So now there are very good breeders also. So that's the reason I always say the sustainability of Gaushala is depend. They should have a not more than 2 kind of breeds in one Gaushala, because then then the focus will go out. So like me in Swadeshi Kamdhenu Gaushala, I'm working. I have a Sahiwal cattle there, and I have a Himachali Pahadi. So Badri is basically from a Uttarakhand side. So both are very close to each other. So the breed will be look similar somehow. But if you'll see a Himachal breed, they have in February, I think 2020, they have registered as a Himachali Pahadi. So that is a black in color. So I am trying to find it out, but it is not there in normal areas. So you have to go high hills. So I have just having a one or two kettles right now, and I have told many people to give me some another small guy, because that is very small in size. And if you see if you see the advantage of a small kettle which doesn't give a more milk, because people have kettles only कि दूध ज्यादा नहीं देगी तो घर पे क्यों रखना है. But believe me guys, दूध अगर छोटी गाय का या पहाड़ी किसी देसी नस्ल का कम है, तो उसके अंदर में जो गुणवत्ता है वो दूसरी गाय से 20 गुना ज्यादा है. आप अगर मैं जैसे हमारी हिमाचली पहाड़ी गाय का मैं घी की बात करता हूँ, हम अभी बनाना शुरू कर रहे हैं उसको भी, वो 4,500 रुपये लीटर बिकता है. पर हमारे यहाँ पे लोगों को एक एजुकेशन ना होने के कारण कि वो क्या चीज है उनके पास, उनको सिर्फ जो सिखाया गया, जो सरकारों ने सिखाया गया, क्योंकि हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में भी आज तक देसी और इंडिजिनस ब्रीड के ऊपर में कुछ नहीं है. मैं इन एंड आउट देख चुका हूँ. मेरे को एक मौका भी मिला राष्ट्रीय कामधेनु आयोग के चेयरमैन डॉक्टर वल्लभ भाई कतारिया जी से मिलने का भी. वहां से भी बहुत कुछ सीखने के लिए मिला. बट गाय एक ऐसा है, वो एक ऐसी जगह है जो एक कहते हैं ना योगशाला है. आप जितनी बार अंदर जाओगे और बाहर निकलोगे कुछ नया सीख के निकलोगे. एंड आई हैव सीन वेरी यंग फेसेस टुडे आल्सो, जिन्होंने कई सालों से कुछ काम कर रहे हैं. मैं तो शत शत नमन कहता हूँ आप सब लोगों को कि मुझे आप सब लोगों से मिलने का मौका मिला.
आपके
और
कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स और कुछ
हाँ,
मॉडल के बारे में बताइए.
मैं आपको ये मेरा एक देसी घी है जो मैं पूरे नेशनली इंडिया में सेल करता हूँ. इसको A2 देसी मिल्क वैदिक घी हमने बोला है. मैंने एक वीडियो भी होगा, आई थिंक अगर अनुपम कैन प्ले दैट वीडियो, स्मॉल वीडियो, हाउ द घी हैज बीन मेड.
ठीक है.
इन द मीन टाइम कितने फार्मर्स आपके साथ जुड़े हुए हैं और कितनी गाय मतलब?
मेरे पास फार्म में अराउंड 55 केटल्स हैं, और उसमें मैंने अभी 2 केटल्स मेरे पास अभी छोटी केटल्स मैंने अपने पास रखी हैं अभी.
अच्छा.
और हम लोग
जो ये जो आपका ये जो इसको इन वे अभियान है, इसमें कितने फार्मर्स जुड़े हैं?
मेरे पास मतलब अक्रॉस इंडिया में फार्मर्स जुड़ गए हैं, पर आई थिंक 1000+ फार्मर्स मेरे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं. और उनके साथ में हम लोग क्या है, क्योंकि आजकल फार्मर्स की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, दे डोंट हैव मार्केट. वो प्रोडक्ट बना लेंगे, सब कुछ कर लेंगे, उनको एक मेरे ख्याल से एक चीज और भी प्रॉब्लम होगी कि हमारा जो फार्मिंग का साइज है ना, दैट हैज बीन गॉन स्मॉल विद द टाइम, बिकॉज परिवार बड़े हो गए, साइज छोटे हो गए, तो लोग जो है एक स्टैंडर्डाइज फार्मिंग के ऊपर काम नहीं कर पाते हैं. तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी शुड ऐड ए ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल. हम भी यही करते हैं कि ग्रुप ऑफ लोगों को जोड़ते जा रहे हैं, उनको एक ही तरह का बीज देते हैं ताकि सिमिलर टाइप का क्रॉप भी हमारे पास सामने आए. अगर वो चीजें मिक्सअप में रहेंगी तो आपको एक क्वालिटी नहीं मिलेगी और आप एक क्वांटिटी को ढंग से मेंटेन नहीं कर पाएंगे उसके अंदर. या कैन यू प्ले द वीडियो प्लीज?
विद्या जी पूछ रही है कि 1 लीटर दूध बनाने, सॉरी 1 किलो घी बनाने के लिए कितने लीटर्स ऑफ A2 मिल्क लगता है?
इसमें अराउंड जो हमारे पास पर्टिकुलर 25 to 24 लीटर्स हम लोगों का जो है दूध लगता है 1 लीटर किलोना घी बनाने के लिए.
25 to 30, right?
24 to 25, not 30, because our cows move a lot and they have a more fat into the milk.
I think the other ones, I think sometimes take even 28 to 30.
Yeah, that all depends also what kind of feed they are giving it to the cow.
Bilkul, absolutely. How much land is ideally required for natural farming of 10 to 20 cattle? अगर आपके पास 20 कैटल हैं तो आप बहुत सारे एकर्स कर सकते हैं.
मेरे हिसाब से one cow is sufficient for 25 acres.
Yeah, I mean, Subhash Palekar ji said
Yeah,
30. Even if we say 10 acres or 10 to 15 acres, you can just imagine
yeah.
how you actually require very few cows for a very large tract of land. That's a fact. So, which is
गौरी जी,
why.
मैं एक और बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर जो है एज ए मार्केटिंग एस्पेक्ट से जरूर कहना चाहूँगा, because in India we have a very good Vedic culture, we have very good products, we have all procedural things which is laid on 100 years back. But now it is a time to create a branding of a product at a good level, because branding is missing. That's the reason, and the knowledge is also missing, and we are not able to reach to right people. So, which I am doing it right now from Delhi and NCR. I'm doing it even across the India also. We are doing it. So, creating a brand of your product will give you more reach. And nowadays people are educated people, they believe on whether they're facade, whether they're having organic stamp onto that, and all these things. So there should be that practices we should adopt to make as a prominent brand.
Agree with you, and I also feel that people like Aparna, for example. Aparna, are you there? I just saw you disappear. Aparna, can you hear me? Yeah. So people like Aparna, for example, who have started building the Bhumijaa brand, for example, right? Now she may not be doing dairy, but I also feel that the existing brands we have amongst us, where people trust. So more and more farmers should start, working with such brands which are already trusted brands. प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है मार्केट में, ये नहीं कि ब्रांड नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि हर किसी को अपना ब्रांड चाहिए, और दैट इज नॉट द राइट वे टू डू ब्रांड बिल्डिंग. ब्रांड बिल्डिंग में कई बार कई साल लग जाते हैं, ट्रस्ट बिल्ड करने के लिए कई साल लग जाते हैं. तो जहां जहां देखा कि ट्रस्ट और क्रेडिबिलिटी और एक वो हो गया है, वहां पर मिलके कोलैबोरेशन करना बहुत जरूरी है.
Very true, very true. For a larger volume, you have to have a collaboration together. Otherwise, the quantity, because marketing is all demand and supply. So you'll not able to meet that kind of thing. So it is very important that people, those who are really working onto the ground, and they are making their farmers around them to work like them. So collect them, join them, and make a bigger brand. So that is a right viability to do work.
दूसरा है
This is about getting cows from the north. First of all, I would recommend that if you have your breeds in the south, please stick to your south breeds.
Right.
If you want them from the north, there are many available. I know for a fact many cows in UP, Rajasthan, which really don't have shelters, because sometimes they run out of fodder. The farmers don't have enough fodder. So actually getting them is not really an issue if you know the right sources to get them. So and provided you are you really can take care of them, right?
Right now, like Aparna ji is also doing already many products onto the gobar based, and believe me, recently we started a initiation from the Swadeshi Kamdhenu Gaushala, that is Gau Mein Ganesha. Believe me, many people, I don't know how many people gives me call from where we do get all these things. So these drives have to commonly taken by everybody at every place, because this is an opportunity by the COVID-19, and COVID-19 has given a lot of us, like people like us, and they have put it back, people those who work on donation only. So people, those who are working hard, and they are making the products and doing their in and out onto the particular things. And believe me, things will be in future is going to be a very different. And people, those who are seriously working towards a cow, and people have to integrate with each other. Because if somebody has a marketing skill, so then you go to that guy, because this is my product. Because now consumer want to see from where my product is coming. So that is very important now. So
I must also very quickly, there are lots of questions coming from about कि कहाँ से गाय मिल सकती है, good breeds को कैसे recognize करना चाहिए, ये सब सवाल आ रहे हैं. We have a very good network of Gaushala, people who are connected in the Gaushala network, and hopefully many of them are very, very genuine. So please connect with us. Very important is that this. If you to recognize whether something is a pure breed or not, not everybody can recognize. So it's very important that you connect with the right people who will do it. What is the difference between a Jersey cow, what is called A1 versus A2? That is very critical for everyone to understand. Aparna, would you like to say something on this?
Yeah, I'd like to talk here. At the risk of annoying many people, I have to say one thing at the outset. While I'm extremely proud of can you hear me? There is no problem, right?
Yes, please go ahead.
While I'm extremely proud of our indigenous cattle, I believe me because I myself run a huge indigenous cattle shed. We must all not go into what myths, and we should understand scientifically what we are talking about, right? There are two types of cattle, Bos taurus and Bos indicus. Okay, well, our indigenous cattle is our own, but that doesn't mean other countries don't have their own indigenous cattle. We have come to believe that indigenous cattle is only Indian cattle. It is not true. For for any other country, their cattle is indigenous to their country. In 1960, when the milk revolution happened, it's called the White Revolution, then the government decided that our cattle, indigenous cattle, which is very hardy, sturdy, they're like our desi dogs on the road. They don't need too much care. They are very sturdy and strong, but they don't traditionally give too much milk. That is why there is a reason. There is a biological reason for that. India is a hot tropical country. We don't need much dairy. You see, the fat in the dairy keeps you warm, right? You don't need too much dairy at all. That's why our ancestors didn't, we relied on the beautiful number of vegetables and fruits because we're a tropical country. Greens and vegetables and fruit 24/7 or 365 days. Unlike in the Western world, many parts are so cold. They don't have greenery through the year. They relied on dairy and nuts and other meat and other things to keep their nutrition alive, right? So you must understand that whether even if it is a Jersey or a Holstein Friesian, they are desi to some other country. I've been wanting to say this on some forum because I think we should not have, that is one thing I wanted to say. Second thing is, traditionally in the Vedic texts, to recognize what is a native cow and the different breeds, there are lakshans. So people would go, if they wanted to buy a cow, they will go to wherever they are going to buy it from, they will go stay there for 3 days, 4 days. You won't pick up a cow like that. They'll first of all watch the cow. They will watch the cow. उसके 18 लक्षण होते हैं गाय का. उसका पीठ बिल्कुल सीधा टेबल जैसा होना चाहिए. उसके पूंछ जमीन तक. एक गाय का एक लक्षण. I'm telling you, like for a ghee, for instance. Eyes have to be clear, alert face. The horns have to be swept back. The dewlap has to hang up to a particular thing. आगे वाले थन और पीछे वाले थन का height difference and size has to be in a particular way. Milking time में the guy's behavior has to be in a particular way. उसके चलन एक होती है जो चलने का, उसको देखते थे पीछे से कि चल कैसे रही है गाय. ये सब एक knowledge, ये it's a कला. It is not like you can go just buy a car. भैया कितनी दूध देती है?
It is also come with the time only. It will only come with the time.
Correct. Yeah. The mistake we have made today is, for us, we ask when we look at a cow only one question: कितनी दूध देती है? बस. इसके अलावा हमें कोई सवाल पूछना ही नहीं है. That is the biggest गलती we are doing. A cow has many lakshans. It is 18-19 लक्षण है आयुर्वेद में.
One of the reasons why indigenous cows were discouraged was the fact कि वो कम दूध देती थी, and that is why we started.
Correct. So So then what happened? Then the government said, no, there was a genuine shortage of milk, and they wanted to start a revolution, like the Green Revolution. So they decided to import cattle. Okay, they imported Jerseys and Holstein Friesians from those regions and these are cattle which give lot of milk. They're traditionally like that. Like just like you said ना, गीर का ज्यादा, हमारे गायों में से गीर सबसे प्रचलित है दूध के लिए, वैसे उनका गाय में वो बहुत. एंड दूध कैसा, हमारा बेचारा गीर कुछ भी हो 10-11 लीटर, लोग बोलते हैं बहुत 18-19 पता नहीं, I don't know, but I have so many geese. The average milking of a gear is not more than 10. 10 is a very good milker. Okay, so these were no mukabala to our indigenous cattle. Our indigenous cattle were no mukabala to these guys. These guys were 18 liters, 22 liters, 25 liters. So what happened? The government also did a propaganda at that point saying, please start taking in Jersey cows. They started this thing of cooperatives, where in the home you keep a Jersey cattle and you take the milk and give it to a cooperative, and it was adding income to the family. Now, all this was fine, but along with that, many problems started. As usual, there was no control, right? People started getting Holstein Friesian and Jersey and leaving it all over. फिर cross होने लगा हमारे जितने indigenous cattle थे, and because indigenous cattle का popularity धीरे धीरे कम होते गया, slaughterhouses came up because those cattle now were not required, right? So slowly all our breeds started vanishing, and cross होके दोगली बनने लगे. So we have to understand the whole system of what has happened. So that is why I say that the cattle to blame, you can't, this is my humble view, that you cannot blame the cattle because the cattle didn't ask to be brought here. The mistake is what we did. Regarding the Brazil, at the same time, we sold Gir semen to Brazil, from whatever I have read, and they crossed it with their own cattle, and it became a breed called Girolando.
Girlando,
okay?
yeah. Girlando.
Yes. Now, from there, we are trying to buy back the semen. So between you and me, the problem here is humans. We are interfering with our own system.
Aparna, that is the biggest question when I met many big officials. I tell them, so why you are importing it from outside? They are actually into a different culture, different environment, and today Indian culture is totally different. And believe me, like you rightly said, Indian and Jersey, if you compare it, Jersey takes a lot of food. Indian cow doesn't eat much.
No, not just that. I think the Jersey cow suffers in India.
Yeah.
It's like bringing a husky or a Saint Bernard to India.
Right.
The Jerseys,
which is why when somebody from Tamil Nadu said, "I want Gir from the from West or
Gujarat,
from the North," we always recommend that please have the indigenous. As well, even in Haryana, when people have been getting cows from other parts like Gir, etc., we've been telling the Gaushala owners that please stick to your Haryani. The milk from Haryani cow is very, very good. It can be the best compared to any other indigenous cow. That is my one point. But my second and important point is that today it is a fact, and I've talked to many people. So while we say that we have a very large number of indigenous cows right now in India, I don't know the exact numbers, and I don't think they have been tagged yet. But the pure breeds are a very small quantity. Okay, it's only people like, say, Aparna and a few of them who are actually, allowing the conservation and the preservation and the reproduction of pure breeds.
That they are basically.
Even what they have cannot be necessarily called as pure breeds till certain generations go through. So actually pure breeds, there were people who I know who are genuinely into Panchgavya and medicine. They used to go to Pakistan border to get the pure breeds. So the purest breeds, for example, Kankaraj and Thaparkar, you will get in the Rajasthan border, because nobody goes there. It's like, it's a desert area where nobody's, it's a very, very poor desert area where nobody's bothered to do cow breeding in a proper manner. You won't even see proper Gaushalas there. This concept of Gaushala itself is a very different concept. People used to just have, every house used to have 2-3, every villager used to have 2-3 cows of their own. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hope I'm not hijacking, but I just want to say one more thing. For instance, I'll give you an sorry, I think you want me wanting to talk for just one point. There is a breed called Tharparkar. All of you know. Everyone knows Tharparkar. Everyone knows it gives milk. But what is Tharparkar? Tharparkar. It is a desert cow.
Cow.
It is adapted. There is something called adaptation, which every human and every animal goes through. People who are adapted to a particular region live in a particular way, and their body gets adapted to that temperature and that geography. So similarly, this cow is a camel amongst cows, right? It is a cow that needs less water and will give more milk. Very sturdy. That is why. So therefore, it is okay, like, to take it from one region to another, but we should not think Desi means only because only what we have is desi. That was the one thing I wanted to say. Two, that to choose a cow based on only how much milk it gives is the biggest mistake
That's true.
people made. Traditionally, cows were, cows were much beyond that. Cows were much
That
more than
I
milk.
always, I
You know,
always say that cow
So
is
I
a
want
gem.
to, Rajesh,
Cow is, yeah, yeah,
before you resume, I want to just clarify one very important thing. So
yeah,
while it is right to say that what is indigenous to another country is indigenous to them, and what is indigenous to us is indigenous to us, there has been a clear difference, a differentiation made between the A2 protein in the A2 or the desi gai of India and the rest of the cows. There has been this. We don't want to debate this too much right now because there is already, it's almost become a controversy now. But there is enough and more evidence coming in that the A2 milk and even the gobar of the desi cow, which
yeah.
is the humped cow, uh, has a significant difference in the microbe level and the good bacteria, which is helpful for the soil. I'm going to keep this for further discussion tomorrow because we have the food forest session tomorrow. So we will not continue with this debate here. But Rajesh, you want to complete something because we need to wind up the session also.
No, I think everybody has already covered
Yeah, we've
all
done
the
that.
things together. So I will say thank you, Gauri, for giving us such a platform to speak, where I able to interact with the people, those who are conserving, protecting, and developing cows also, and cow-based industry is getting developed slowly, slowly. So it is a time that we people should get integrate with each other and move forward and have a bigger version of the marketing in front of people, and maybe awareness camping has to be increased. That's the
Absolutely.
only key to the market.
Yeah, we want Anil Bhardwaj ji to come in and speak up. He wanted to say something. We also, somebody from Tamil Nadu who wanted cows. There is near, I think, Coimbatore, maybe near Thanjavur, actually, there is a very, very big Gaushala and they are looking for support for the cows. So please connect with me and I will very happily connect you with that Gaushala. Okay. Is there evidence about nutritional difference between HFs and cow and desi cows? Yes, there is more and more evidence emerging about A2 milk and the efficacy. It is controversial because there will be a set of people who still do not subscribe to it. Could be for good reasons, but very clearly the whole movement on natural farming based on cow dung is actually fundamentally based on desi cow dung. Okay, so we will park it here.